No, sorry. Fell asleep here. Sorry. It's been a long day. A lot of work. Anyway, since it's Saturday, and since you're here again, why not do keep the tradition going? Saturday Trepacer's Saturday reviews. I believe this is number 7, I believe. Okay, I have 2 movies here, and let's go over them and do a brief review. Okay, the first one is Fight Club. Okay, everybody knows the rules about Fight Club. First rule is don't talk about Fight Club, but we're going to break that rule, and we're going to talk about Fight Club. And the other movie is Chloe, starring Liam Neeson, Julianne Moore, and Amanda Seyfried. Okay, first, let's go with Fight Club. Fight Club is a movie that came out originally in, I believe, 1999. It stars Edward Norton as the narrator and Brad Pitt as Tyler Durden. I guess I pronounced his name, and Hella Bonham Carter's in it. Also Meatloaf. The story is basically about I guess you could call Edward Norton's character, it's called the narrator. He has no name in the movie, and he's a insurance investigator. Okay, when people have accidents, he flies out to investigate them and I guess take pictures and I guess make reports for that. Anyway, he's also a hopeless insomniac. He's having trouble sleeping. You know, he's just out of it. He just can't sleep no matter what he does. And he goes to his doctor, and his doctor basically he pleads to the doctor to give him help. And his doctor tells him basically, you take some, I think he says smoke some herbs or something, or eat some herbs or something. He said, you don't, and Edward Norton's basically saying, I'm dying here, doctor. He said, no, you're not really dying. If you want to really see people dying, go down to the mission, whatever that. And so he goes down to this place, and that's where he sees these people and all this building where they have all these, I guess, therapy groups for like people that are dying of cancer, people that are sexaholics, people, just all different types of groups. And he finds by going to these things, he actually starts to feel better about himself, and he starts to actually start feeling better about himself. But of course, that doesn't last long because he meets somebody there, and a character called Marla Singer, who played by Helen Bonham Carter, who actually is there for basically the same reason he's there, and she's basically, because he's so distracted by her, it just screws his whole karma up, and he's back to not being able to sleep again. Okay, and he makes a deal with her to split the times up, and she goes sometime and he will go sometime. But then, of course, he meets Brad Pitt, who is the most important character in the movie. Okay, Tyler Durden. He's supposedly a soap salesman who sells soap, and basically he frees Edward Norton's character. He basically Tyler Durden does what he wants. He does what he wants. He's free. He doesn't care what people think. He does what he wants, and basically he introduces Edward Norton's character, who's the narrator, they start a fight club together. Basically, a place where men can basically take out their aggression. Okay, they start off small, but then the group slowly builds up, and of course, Edward Norton's character, he moves in with Tyler Durden, and basically he doesn't, he feels liberated from society's conventions and stuff. He feels free, and of course they're enjoying this fight club, and of course it gets bigger. Okay, more people join, and then you have people. It even gets expanded to different cities, of course. And then there's a twist that comes in the movie. That comes, I think, about 3/4 of the way in. I think that this twist comes in, which anybody that's seen Fight Club knows what that twist is. And it involves, of course, Brad Pitt's character of Tyler Durden. And I don't want to give that away for people who haven't seen the movie, but it's a really good movie. And Edward Norton and Brad Pitt are absolutely fantastic in this movie. This is, of course, a movie by David Fincher. Absolutely a fantastic movie. And like I said, I saw this movie years ago, and I watched it again today, and the ending still just is wow to me. Okay, but this is, like I said, great performances by Edward Norton and Brad Pitt in this movie. Definitely recommend this. And okay, like I said, I don't want to give away the twist in the movie because that's kind of the point. Okay, the twist, like I said, ties in between Edward Norton and Brad Pitt's characters. Okay, so I don't want to give that away for people who haven't seen the movie. Okay, but for the people who have seen it, they know what I'm talking about. And like I said, it's a really, just like I said, great performances by Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. They're just really intense, and it's just the Fight Club is just a really great movie, and definitely highly recommend you seeing this. Okay, this is the 10th anniversary edition, but one of David Fincher's best. Can highly recommend that more. Okay, now the next movie is a movie by Anton Urgent. Well, I forgot he's done a bunch of films which I can't think of right now. Okay, but this is supposedly called Chloe, and Chloe is played by Amanda Seyfried right there, and stars Liam Neeson and Julianne Moore. Basically, it's about a couple, Julianne Moore and Liam Neeson. She's a what do you call that? I was going to say chiropractor, but no, she's not. She's a I can't think of the name of the female doctor. I'll put it over the video. I can't think of the name of the female doctor that that women go to for checkups. I can't think of that name for some reason. Okay, that's what she is, and he's a professor of music, I believe, at a college, and of course they're having trouble in their marriage. She suspects that her husband sees her husband's flirting with women, and she suspects that he's basically having an affair. Okay, and she's she's so torn up about it, and one night when she's having dinner with her husband, and at this fancy hotel, and one of their friends points out that this fancy hotel, of course, is prostitutes that that work at this fancy hotel come in all the time with all different type of clients, and of course she notices Chloe at one of the she notices Chloe's character, and they actually meet in the restroom briefly, and she basically hires Chloe to test her husband. Basically, she wants to see what the husband will do if he's presented with a temptation. Okay, and then that's the basic premise of the movie. And like I said, you have a really good performance by I especially like Amanda Seyfried and Julianne Moore, who's really good. Liam Neeson's character is not he's more of a supporting player in this movie. He's not, and I think that part of that reason is I think they had to rework the script, because this is, I think, at the time that his wife, Natasha Richardson, had the skiing accident that led to her death. So I think they had to kind of write his part out. They had to kind of work around him. Okay, but anyway, like I said, she suspects her husband, like I said, and she meets with Amanda Seyfried's character, Chloe, to find out if the husband is going to be tempted. What happens when they meet. When she accidentally runs into her husband. Okay, and then it turns into, like I said, a little psychological little thriller, well, erotic thriller actually, because Julianne Moore's character, who's this desperately lonely woman who wants, desperately wants to know if her husband's fooling around. She's lonely, and okay, and she basically begins to have a thing for little mini affair with Chloe. Okay, and of course Chloe who's very needy. But the reason I can't recommend this, well, I can recommend this movie. It's actually, you get good performances by the actor, particularly, Amanda Seyfried and Julianne Moore. But I felt that the script was kind of underwhelming, because this is supposed to be a remake of a French movie that's called Natalia. I think that's the name, but I'll put it over the video. But they don't kind of explain Chloe's motivations, and if you see the movie, you'll see it comes to there's a certain point that the movie gets to, but the script doesn't explain exactly what her motivations are. I mean, there's a brief mention of what you think is her motivation for getting involved with Julianne Moore's character, but they don't really kind of spell it out for you. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions, I guess, basically is what I'm saying. They don't really spell it out. I don't think whoever wrote the screenplay for this didn't really spell it out. And where you think this is turning into maybe like a Fatal Attraction type of thing, it doesn't really get to that level. It's sort of like it's building up to that point, but it doesn't really get there. Okay, so I think the script is weak in this, even though I think you get good performances from Julianne Moore and Amanda Seyfried. Okay, but yeah, I didn't like the way, like I said, they didn't explain Chloe's motivations. Okay, but Amanda Seyfried I thought was really good. To working with what she had, with her character, which was, I think, underwritten. Okay, to a good point. And I think, like I said, Julianne Moore carried the movie. Okay, because she had, you can say basically like she's falling apart. Thinking that her marriage is over, her son basically doesn't listen to her, okay, and she's trying to, find out that her husband's, cheating on her, and of course, Chloe's there, and like I said, drama unfolds when they get involved with each other, okay. So I would recommend you see this, but like I said, because I'm a big fan of Amanda Seyfried and Julianne Moore, of course, Liam Neeson also, so that's why I wanted to get this movie. But like I said, the script to me was it didn't explain her motivations good enough for me, okay. So that's my opinion of it. I mean, I still like it. But it didn't really, like I said, explain her motivations. Okay, like I said, they kind of hinted at it, but they didn't really spell it out. And I know some people say, well, you're supposed to. I guess you're supposed to read into it, but I like things spelled out. Okay, sue me. Okay, so the two movies, of course, that I reviewed, of course, is Fight Club. Okay, and of course, Chloe. Okay, and so that's my reviews for Saturday, and I'm gonna shut my eyes for a minute and let me know what you think, and feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care. Okay.